Well, today we're going to talk about grind size, and I'm hoping I can get enough of a picture out of this to show you the differences. Now, this is a very fine grind. See how it's very dusty. It can get finer. The better the machine, the finer it can get. Now, the next one over is sort of a medium one. You can see the particles are sort of like, or the grind is sort of like what you'd use for maybe like a sandy beach feel, okay? You can see the difference between that one and this one. And then the last one, you can see how these pieces are much larger. This is ground to a much coarser level than the others. Now, the reason I'm showing you this is because grind size matters. If you were to put the wrong grind for the wrong brew, then you end up with a coffee that's really not going to taste very good. So like in this particular case, if you were to try to put that into a drip brewer, it's not going to work. This is meant for espresso. It's a quick, lot of surface area, goes through, picks up all the flavors of the coffee, and it's done in a relatively short, 30 seconds. Now, the middle one, which is the sort of medium grind, is your pour over. So, you've got this pour over or your Chemex pour over. Even a little bit, I like to go a little bit finer on an automatic drip, but it's in that realm. And the last one, the coarse one, is actually what I use when I make a cold brew, which is what I make in here. If you haven't made cold brew, you really got to try it. It's a whole different creature altogether. Cold brew, or if you're using a plunge pot, French press, that kind of thing. So if you were to put this fine one in a French press, wouldn't work. If you were to put this coarse one in espresso, really wouldn't work. So each grind really depends on what you're brewing it with, not to mention the ratio of water. But that grind size does matter. So you've got to grind your coffee like 15, 20 minutes in that range right before you use it. And then you've got to tailor the grind to what you're going to brew it in. That's one of the ways you make best coffee. So grind size matters. I actually left out one. If you're using an AeroPress, which makes great coffee, you're going to want your grind closer to the espresso side than the drip side. Not quite as fine, but in that same realm, because that's a quick plunge. It's like a 30-second plunge. You're done and it's finished. So you want a lot of surface area to extract as much of that coffee flavor as possible.